After the death of King David, his son Solomon was established as king over Israel. Solomon loved the Lord and followed the statutes his father had taught him, though he was still young and deeply aware of the weight of ruling such a great people. One night, while Solomon was worshiping at Gibeon, the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, "Ask what I shall give thee." Solomon answered humbly. He acknowledged God's faithfulness to his father David and admitted his own limitations, saying he was like a child who did not know how to go out or come in. Standing before a vast nation, God's chosen people, Solomon did not ask for wealth, long life, or victory over his enemies. Instead, he prayed, "Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and evil." This request pleased the Lord greatly. God replied that because Solomon had not asked for selfish things, he would give him a wise and understanding heart, so that no one before or after him would be his equal. In addition, God promised Solomon riches and honor beyond any other king of his time. God also told him that if he walked in obedience, his life would be long. When Solomon awoke, he realized it had been a divine encounter. He returned to Jerusalem, stood before the Ark of the Covenant, and offered sacrifices of thanksgiving and peace. Soon after, Solomon's God-given wisdom was publicly revealed. Two women came before the king, both claiming to be the mother of the same infant. They lived in the same house and had given birth only days apart. One woman's child had died in the night, and she secretly exchanged the dead child for the living one while the other slept. With no witnesses and only conflicting testimony, the case seemed impossible to judge. Solomon ordered a sword and said, "Divide the living child in two, and give half to the one and half to the other." One woman agreed to this judgment, but the other cried out in anguish, begging the king to give the child to the other woman so that the baby might live. At that moment, Solomon knew the truth. He declared the woman who showed compassion to be the true mother and gave the child to her. When all Israel heard of the judgment, they feared the king, recognizing that the wisdom of God was in him to execute justice. God continued to bless Solomon with extraordinary wisdom. He spoke 3,000 proverbs and wrote over 1,000 songs. His understanding of nature was vast. He spoke of plants, animals, birds, reptiles, and fish. People from all nations came to hear his wisdom, and kings sent envoys to listen to his words. During Solomon's reign, Israel lived in peace and prosperity. The people dwelled safely, each under his own vine and fig tree. News of Solomon's wisdom reached faraway lands, including the kingdom of Sheba. The queen traveled with a great caravan, bringing spices, gold, and precious stones to test Solomon with difficult questions. Solomon answered all her questions, withholding nothing. When she saw his wisdom, the organization of his kingdom, the justice of his rule, and the prosperity of his people, she was overwhelmed. She said, "The report was true, but behold, the half was not told me." She praised the Lord for placing Solomon on the throne and acknowledged that his wisdom came from God. Solomon's wisdom became legendary. His reign symbolized peace, discernment, and divine blessing. Yet his story also reminds us that wisdom must be continually grounded in obedience and humility before God. Solomon's request stands as one of the greatest prayers ever recorded, teaching that when a person seeks wisdom to serve others rather than themselves, God is pleased to provide abundantly. Like and subscribe for more.